Hey, we had a great conversation the other day. I can't stop thinking about it. And I know you
Right.
have a couple questions that are coming from it, but I wanted to tell you this thing, and it can be a part of our call or whatever. But after we got off the little chat we had,
Mhm.
because we talked a lot about truth and a few other little items in there,
Yeah.
wisdom, knowing your own inner wisdom. I mean, we both do this work.
Hmm.
I got an email notice about my Ridsy for my book. I have
Okay.
4 books. We're definitely going to be talking about books today, Nicolene. But I wanted to bring this up because the synchronicities that are going on right now are big. And this is the energy, we have a mutual friend. I talked to him this morning. He told me he talked to you yesterday. Like, it's all meant to be, but I've been thinking about this chat for a couple of reasons, and I go and open up my Readsy because I'm getting a lot of notification. Readsies, by the way, is that writing app where you can write your book on. And you know, I have a book ready to go. But first I was like, we were talking about truth, right?
Yeah.
And I was in there for a different reason. I was like, your trial offer is ending or something. And I always fall behind on that stuff. And then I end up owning something I never wanted to buy. And I'm in there and I had written a book a while back. And, because we used to have our little writing sessions. And I wasn't ready to release it the way it was framed. And so I pulled it over to a different book with the idea that I'd come back. And I came up with a great name for it. And I don't want to give the name away yet, but it's all about telling the truth. And that I just was like, I have to tell her because we were talking about your new book that's going on. And it always comes back. But when I was in there, the original book, I don't mind saying it, Being Weird is the New Normal. I have a foreword, I have 10 clear chapters. I was like, why didn't I publish this? And I read through it and I was like, this is a whole ready to go. I mean, it has to be updated for some reasons, like I've been diagnosed now with ADHD, which is a neurodivergency, just like highly sensitive person or empath. So I might reframe it as neurodivergent instead of what I was doing in the book. But I was just like, oh my God, how funny. And then how funny that the title of my book is talking about telling the truth. And I just had to share that with you because that was like a big part of our conversation.
It
So,
really was. Oh my God. Well, everything is energy.
yes.
Um, and I, this is the great thing I love about the energy bit and the work that we do. We
Yeah.
take one step and we just had decided to have fun with it.
Right.
And we don't know what's coming next. But then all these other things are happening. So you get those notifications from Reezy. I had this interview with our mutual friend,
Yeah.
and it's just taking that first step, and
Yeah.
then the next and the next, without knowing where it's going to lead, but also letting go of any expectations. And it's
Mm.
just taking the step and see what happens and enjoy the ride.
Which is so great and also oddly so hard for me to do because of all of the learning I've had over the years. You gotta, for instance, you were talking about how you wrote out a whole outline, then wrote your book. I don't,
Yeah.
I'm just telling my story. It basically is what I'm doing. And yet, when I read this other work that's more self-help and the one that was too sensitive is more autobiographical. What I was doing was trying to meld them into one book. But I realized
Um,
one is I just want to tell my story. I don't want to have
yeah.
to go. And the 3 things I learned here, so when I separated them out, it made more sense. But I had to do
Mhm.
the first, get it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's good.
and
Yeah,
then remap it, right? But it's a process of,
yeah,
figuring that out for yourself, I think, is what we were talking about. Like,
yeah, definitely. Well, we spoke about the difference between a gardener and an architect.
that's it.
And you are definitely a gardener, and I'm definitely an architect.
Which,
But there is
yeah,
not one way that's better than the other. It's just,
no,
knowing that the way you're doing this. One second, there's a cat on the kitchen counter.
pause.
I don't know what she's doing, but she's eating something.
So,
Let's
should we pause
let's
or
pause.
go
Let's
get
pause.
it? I'll
Yeah.
have like a drink of water.
Oh my God.
I'll probably have a
She was
cat
lick-
interruption
she was
too.
she was licking the olive oil bottle.
Oh my God. Well, it's healthy. It's not butter, I guess. She's watching her calories. Cats are funny. My cat will get
Anyway.
involved at some point. She doesn't like closed doors. It's
Mm,
very specific. She doesn't like
okay.
closed doors when somebody's behind that door. The door can be closed with
Oh.
nobody in it. She doesn't care. It's very specific. But then
Hmm.
she'll stand out there and meow. So it might happen, might not.
Yeah.
This is her nap time. So,
Okay. That's good. That's good. Well, I hope these two will start napping soon, but
well, you have
I
a
won't
gang
get
over
in.
there. So
Oh my God, yeah, I got four.
it's the ultimate cat lady experience.
It is. It is. Oh, but I'm enjoying it. It's so much fun. It's
Oh,
so much
still can't get over that
fun.
reel.
Anyway. All right. We'll edit this out. Let's go
Ugh,
back to
or
the,
maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, yes.
yeah. Yeah.
Learning our way, I think, is self-trust. And
Yeah.
that's so because I went in there and found these books, I have added to the other one here and there, going through this healing process. But the other book had a foreword from our mutual friend. And then I was like, I
Hmm.
need to talk to him because I want to figure out how I want to do this.
Yeah.
This book is fine for me to, publish tomorrow, actually, if I
Yeah.
wanted, but I just want to have an idea of what I'm doing with it. And that's what I admire about you and your books. You have, again, not just the way you structure them, but also how you flow with them and that whole how you put it out there. I think the last book you wrote was a line with, I can't
Yeah.
remember,
Aligned energy.
which was,
It's a combination of a book and a journal.
oh,
So
nice.
it's a physical book. So it's not an ebook, it's a physical book.
Okay.
Uh, because it,
Yeah.
it shares, knowledge, information about human design. And then
Mm,
there's a journal part where people can keep track of their energy and
super
check,
important.
how where am I in my energy levels? Is it high? Is it low? What's the matter? What's happening? What gives me energy? What costs me energy? How's my
Right.
sleep? How's my exercise? How is my food, etc. All those things. And then after a week, people can look back on the past week and start discovering patterns. Like, oh, wait a minute. When
Mm-hmm.
I'm in huge groups of people, um, I'm losing energy. Great. I'm not going to do that anymore.
Right.
Um, so,
We're
so
so
that's
unaware. Yeah. Yeah, that's a
yeah,
great book.
yeah.
It's something I intuitively know, right? Like
Mm,
but I also don't, so there's a double-edged sword with it. I intuitively know where things give me energy, but I'm also have been well trained to do the
mm.
thing
Yeah,
and
yeah,
push through it. So,
yeah.
well, there was a time I was really social. Three social events in one week kills me. And I always
Yeah.
felt bad about that, right? But it's like, why can't I be around people? Do I hate people? Like you start,
Mm,
no, that's just, there's a bigger thing going on. There's an
yeah.
exchange of energy. And I realize, oh, I'm getting lost in other people's energy. And that's fun. I get a lot of energy from other people. But then I'm like, okay, I'm tired. And I think you explained why, because I'm a
Yeah,
generator.
yeah.
And I also have a
With
specific
7 open centers.
7. Oh, I have 7. Okay.
You have 7 open
Yes.
centers. And that's the reason why other people's energy is like coming coming to you like a tsunami every now and again.
Susan's here. It's what it
Yeah,
feels like.
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
and I think that's what's interesting with the I keep calling it HD but it's human design.
Humidity.
Because I was attracted to that book years ago. It was like, for me, um, this is some of my intuitive senses. I'll go into a bookstore, and that book in particular, I went back to 3 times. It's the rule of three.
Mm,
And
yeah,
for me, it's almost like a glowing energy. Oh. And
yeah.
this is like the original version. I know that Human Design has evolved and more writers and more people and beautiful. I like the thing about the cross that you were talking about. I didn't even know what that was. There's so many little
Mm,
intricate things.
yeah.
And I realized I'm like, okay, I need to know this, but I don't want to learn it. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like,
mm,
it's like astrology to me because it's a section of that. I know that when the full moon's up, we should be visible, but I'm not feeling up for it. It's much more, I have a friend who's taught me a lot more about the moon phases, but also what your houses are and all this. These things are
yeah,
amazing
yeah,
and um, complex, I think,
yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
which
Yeah.
is something I'm learning about myself is if I'm overloaded with too much information, I freeze
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
I don't know what way, and that's a big part of our conversation too, is I'm unlearning, hey, I don't have to be on social media every day, or
Yeah.
that's just a
Yeah.
simple toss
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
It's
What things do you think you learned or you started doing because you thought you had to?
the this is something I'm wrestling with right now. So when I opened up my business, because that's what I'm thinking about right now, there's many. I could answer that question a lot of different ways.
Hmm.
Um, but when we're talking about like an online business, everybody was trying to
Hmm.
figure it out, right? But there's this thing
Yeah.
about giving a freebie.
Oh, yeah.
This is the best example of it for me. I never got, I never understood it. And I would hire other coaches. I've told you this. I hire coaches to keep me accountable. I have ADHD, so I'm looking for somebody who's like, Susan, did you do the thing? I literally
Mhm.
need that.
Yeah.
Um, but you buy a course and you're learning their way, and that's great. I have no problem with any of that. I've learned that my whole life. There's a process, and it's step one, two, three, four, five. The thing is my brain's like, yeah, I know one, two, five, and maybe four, but three, no. That's what I do. I don't know I'm doing
Yeah.
that. That's just my diversity getting in
Yeah.
the way. But I like that, and I also like the ideas that I learned. But then there would be these things that people would be like, you have to. And when people
Mhm.
do that, what they're really doing is anchoring their idea in your energy.
Mm.
And it came up in my thoughts last week because in my journal, I was journaling in my guides. I was getting a download, as we call it, clear
Mhm.
cognizant.
Yeah.
And my guide was swearing. It's just a bunch of bullshit. And I wrote my guide, and I'm like, "What do you mean by you guys swear?" And I'm like, "Yeah, swearing is how you anchor a thing in." You're the first one I'm
Mm.
telling this to, and the reason why I thought about you is because of your fuck it books.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
curse, yes, is when you're cursing someone, but swearing is when you're downloading an idea into your body.
Mm.
That's why we
Yeah.
say, I swear. You're
Yeah.
swearing someone in. It was like a big
Oh,
aha moment. So
yeah.
now that we're in this chat, I'm like, oh, wait, Nicolene needs to hear this. Fuck
Yeah.
bullshit. We will remember it when we swear.
Yeah.
So there's two
Yeah.
parts to swearing. And I know people are like, It's the whole religious thing. Good girls
Hmm.
don't swear.
Yeah, I know. I know. The number of times I heard people saying, "Why do you use the F word? You don't
Because
need
I
that."
fucking
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
think I think a lot more women need to do it. Just it's a release. It's a, you know, if you're pushing it onto somebody, that's cursing.
Hmm.
But if you're saying it to, I need to get this fucking thing done,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
it's a swearing. This
yeah.
stupid thing, but
That's
it's
different.
words do have energy and we do have to be mindful of what we're saying. But if I call you an effer, then I'm cursing you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's different
yeah,
energy.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
definitely different energy. I love what you say about swearing being, adding power to it and really anchoring it in. But this is also what other coaches are doing. Well, that maybe they're not swearing, but they are giving you like, do this, do that, do that. But
Exactly.
what they add is the sauce of fear,
Yeah.
like, oh, if you don't do this, then blah blah blah, or you don't want to be the person who makes this mistake,
You
or
don't really want this enough either. That's a shame technique,
yeah, the shame technique. Oh, I
which
hate that.
neurodivergence will be like, well, I'm not going to fucking do it. Excuse my
Oh,
French, but
yeah,
seriously,
yeah.
we have a thing in our mind that's like when somebody starts shaming us, because that's a lifelong thing. That's shame is the word, is the language of fear.
Mm,
Where we don't really 100% on this planet know how to speak in language of love yet,
mm,
which is
yeah.
what,
Mm,
whether you know it or not, teaching people about their energy the way you're doing is helping them learn to love themselves. It's a language of
mm,
love and acceptance.
yeah,
We have
yeah.
too much of this, you need to be more like this kind of stuff. And I know I have a teenager now, and so it's like, oh, yeah, it's easier to teach through shame and
Yeah,
blame.
yeah, yeah,
It takes time and nurturing to teach through love. And we're getting there, but back to these coaches and the freebie thing, which is where this all
yeah,
started.
yeah.
Sometimes I can remember the train. I can get back on track. The freebie thing felt disingenuous to me. It's
Hmm.
out of alignment. Well, that is a get kind of theory. The only way Nicolene will follow me is if she gets something. And
Mm,
that is something that's in all of it, right? And then I
yeah.
lose my joy. Something we talked about the other day that I'm really understanding now is when I start to pick out an outcome or
Yeah,
strategize. Shoop.
yeah. You lose the energy, right? Yeah, that's
Because
it.
now we have to do architecture, right? Like, okay. And I started to do it at the end of our call, and you're like, no, we'll just press record. And I was, we
Mm,
can just press record? Of course we can.
yeah.
However, that's part of the training. At the end of this call, I need to give a CTA, which will be my freebie, so that you will sign up for my email.
Oh God, yeah,
It's not enough just to
yeah.
see me and hear my voice or yours. Like we're
Mm,
sharing knowledge bombs left and right.
yeah, yeah,
This is
yeah,
free. I mean, the end. But it's never like that is a repetitive. I don't
yeah.
want to give freebies anymore. It's not truth.
This is the freebie.
Yeah.
This is the freebie.
Yeah, and
Um,
why and freebie. So this is brings me back to our mutual friend I was talking to today. What am I going to do with this book? Right?
hmm.
It's a very good question. And I said, well, here's where I'm stuck. Writing a book, it's a lot. It's devoting your time, putting your
Yeah.
energy, like this is big, right? And I didn't ever like free ebooks. Because
Mm,
right away in my mind, well, they don't value their own work.
mm,
Hence why the whole freebie thing, even if it's a meditation I made years ago.
Yeah,
What am I saying when that's the psychology for me?
yeah,
And
yeah,
then it disconnects me. I just want everybody to connect. Like, let's have a party. Boo boo, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Why do
yeah.
we have to give you something? Why do you have to have a free gift to follow me? Because I don't, the whole thing, the whole design is not working for me in that way.
Mm, yeah, but it's also, um, I would say it's a narrative that we have created in the coaching, the business coaching
Yeah.
world. Like when you run an online business, you need a freebie, you need a funnel, you need to
Right.
be visible on at least two or three platforms.
Mm,
You need to do video where people can see you. Uh,
yes.
all these crazy rules, like this
Yeah.
is the structure for a post. You need a hook. You need a good starting phrase. You need
Oh my God.
powerful
Yeah.
label. You need a call to action. All these rules and blueprints, like this is the way to do it. And of course, it works for some people, but
Yeah.
it doesn't
Great.
work for everyone. It doesn't work for everyone. I know. And even though I love being an architect when I write
Mm,
my book, I hate it when I am pushed into a framework of do this, 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 and
hmm.
that should be a LinkedIn post. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm not
Yeah.
gonna write it. I'm just not gonna write it.
That's what I mean by getting inundated with too much ways of doing like that's
Yeah.
I start to unhook from trusting myself. Oh, I gotta go. Years ago, you and I were working together, and I'm like, I better go check with Nicolene. I outsource. We talked about this
Yeah.
too. I outsource
Yeah.
my own power
Yeah.
because and that has a lot to do with, late diagnosis, ADHD, learning, not, I always knew I didn't fit in. Like that was always a constant. Why can't you get good grades? I don't know, because class really is a boring thing. I already got the plot 5 minutes in, but I gotta sit there the whole time. I'm thinking about la 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 la, in my own. Oh wait, I'm back. Ugh. What do I have to do for homework? Who cares? So it was hard, right? And getting back to that whole thing of why I would work with coaches, I was telling my husband this the other day. I was having a little moment, and I was like, if it's not playful and fun and creative and has exciting topic or conversation point that I would want to hear, I'm out. But
Mhm.
I can come up with ideas all day long, but I am too tired to do it all. To do like a podcast, for instance.
Mhm.
This is a podcast. But when
Yeah,
you
it
start
is.
putting it in the framework of what a successful podcast looks like, let me tell you what, I know. I know all of the things. Am I a successful podcaster? No. Because marketing, and it's repetitive and boring to me. And then I'm already making a new thing the next day because I'm like, So working with that energy, you do have to have a consistent thing so people know how to join your party. I get that. I just haven't
Yeah.
ever, the freebie thing,
Mm.
no.
Yeah, yeah, I get
Um,
it. I get it. But I struggle a lot with the consistency element
oh,
because
yeah,
people are like, oh, but you need to post every day, you need
yeah.
to be visible every day, and blah blah blah. Omnipresent every single day, blah blah blah. And I was like, it's exhausting, and it goes up and down for me. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I have some days when I love creating
Yeah.
content, and then at some point I'm like it's exhausting, so I don't do it. So it just goes up and down until the moment when I learned about my human design that I'm not here to be consistent.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
here to add value.
okay.
So
Those are two
all
words.
I need to do is make sure I add value and I serve my ideal client. And that
Ooh.
has nothing to do with being consistent, doing it every day, because at some point I was creating content sharing stuff like, oh, check, I've done it, check, done it. But it was not about serving my ideal client. It was
Yeah.
not about adding value. It was like, oh, it was on my to-do list. Check, I've done
Yeah.
it.
Because that's what most of those things do. It's somebody else's idea of what success is. They're having success, right? And then somebody
Hmm.
came along and said, "Hey, how did you do that thing?" And then they had to think about it. And I mean, it makes sense. It's how we learn stuff, but it's like I've done too many of those things where I'm like, it's not working for me the way it worked for this lady who's making
Yeah,
10K a month, which is great. Make 10K a month. I'd love
yeah,
that. I'd
sure.
like to travel around the world, but I can't do it in that framework because I just can't, and I'm super creative and I get bored, right? So that's where tools like I told you the other day, I finally just ripped the band-aid and said, "Hey, I'm just gonna make an RSS feed for my YouTube, and that will go
That's
to my
it.
email list because I'm doing all the things I want to do on that video anyway.
Yeah,
Why duplicate it?" Some of the things we've learned in the online business world is a lot of
yeah,
replication and work,
yeah,
and we
yeah.
don't have
And
to.
of course, it's all the power of repetition. And, I see Mel Robbins talking about the 5-second rule over and over and over and over again. And now, of course, she has the whole new thing about the let them theory,
Don't
which is
get me
not
started on
hers,
that
by the
one. Yeah,
way.
okay, good. We will both agree. Yeah, it's
It's
not.
not hers, but
Yeah.
she's like repeating the same message over and over and over again. And I get that. I really understand. But it's when
Ugh,
it's coming from a place of, I need to grow my audience, I
yeah.
need to get clients for my new program or whatever.
Whatever the
If
outcome.
it's coming from that place, then it's never going to work. It's going to be exhausting. And the trick is, and we spoke about this
Yeah.
the other day, we need to let go of any expectations of the outcome. We just
Yeah. And I
follow the
mean,
flow, follow the fun.
it's all honestly, it's the law of attraction, right? Like if you are holding on to the outcome of $1 million this year, it's a nice goal to have. I'm not saying you shouldn't reverse engineer it, figure out what
Wow.
actions to take. But if I'm looking at this conversation right now, how is that helping me with my 1 million? I'm going to lose contact with you. For me, this is how it works for me.
Hmm.
If
Hmm.
I try to be singularly, only focused on money or only focused on how many followers, which I do get caught in these traps. I'm not above this at all.
Sure.
I have times and it's my energy's up and down and I think I'm supposed to be doing something. That's when that comes in. But it doesn't work for me. I will lose connection with why I'm here in this moment. If I can't do it anyway, personally, I cannot. Oh, okay. What's my next step? I might have something coming up in my business, but if I only set up talks for my next business thing, I can't do that. I just have never been able to do it. Just go
No.
follow. Like the only thing I feel comfortable with now is like follow my YouTube or sign up on my email list. The end.
Yeah.
Like I can't have more than one CTA at a time. No one can. I just
No.
I lose myself
Yeah. I
in
think
it.
many people do. And I also think this is a movement that is happening throughout the entire online business world.
Yeah, I
That
see. Hmm.
um, it's kind of old school to follow those blueprints and, like, do this and you will have that result.
Yeah.
I think many people are now, I don't know if it's a wake-up call or whatever, but they grow into the feeling of, why do I even need this? What I need is reconnection to me
Yeah.
and to what I love doing. And if I do what I love doing, my
Mm.
energy goes up. And if my energy is high, the whole world benefits from that energy. And I
Yeah.
think that is what we need to hear a lot more. And I don't know if you've heard about this, but in human design, Ra, the founder,
Hmm.
made a prediction about February 2027 that
Okay.
things will definitely change in the world as of that date. And and for many people, it's like, oh yeah, 2027. But for me, it's like, no, it's already happening because
Me too. Yeah.
I see, like, and you and I are having this conversation. We know and we see and we feel that things are already shifting. People are so fed up with this old school system of, oh,
Ugh.
you need to add 20 people to your LinkedIn profile every day, or, you need to
Yeah.
post every day, or you need to
Well,
have
yeah.
a converting funnel and check your statistics and blah blah blah. It really takes people away from their core and their natural talent. And like you said, it
Yeah.
takes you away from being present, and it takes you away from sharing your talent because you have a beautiful, unique talent to share. Once you start using it strategically, you go really up here in the
Yes.
head, and you move
Not.
away
Yeah.
from the heart and the soul. And
Mm.
you had this wonderful saying the other day that stayed with me for a very long time. Like, the more I strategize something, the more I lose myself and my passion and the fun and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Totally. I I love to name things. I like to have fun. I like to be creative. I like colorful things. And I noticed at a certain point, I stopped doing those things because it wasn't professional. I am not a professional person. Like, I don't even know who's professional. Like, I'm not doing a regular profession anyway. I'm a people person who's helping. I mean, my core thing is to inspire people to be more themselves. That's it.
Yeah,
That's what it
yeah.
is. And I help them see that they're extremely intuitive and creative and remind them that and unlearn all the other crap. And
Mm,
it doesn't matter if I call myself, an expat coach, a neurodivergent coach, or career coach, because I do that too. It's especially interesting in that realm because people come all in with head. And then when they work with me, they all leave with emotion and heart. My job's done
yeah.
because we have to learn to be more about ourselves. It's time. These systems, in my humble opinion, take us away from our own creativity, our own innovation, and our own intuition,
Mm,
which I've been, on that path of in and out. And every time, Nicolene, every time I didn't listen to my intuition, it went bad,
mm,
you know?
yeah,
And
yeah.
and I can understand why I have that problem because of having 7 open centers. I have a lot of other people's information in me, whether I know it or not. Whether I took a class from them or I just watched a 5-second reels. Sometimes they'll say stuff and I'll be like, where the hell did that come from? Oh, there's no way to track it anymore. That's also your body gets filled up with this stuff.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
I mean, that sensitivity, it's permeating everywhere. So I like that you brought up Mel Robbins, and I also like what you said, because now we're also not sure where people are coming up with their methodology. I have a bit of a problem with that too, because the least she could have done is just acknowledge it. Um,
Yeah.
and that fake news, I don't even know what news is anymore. Right? Like,
Any news can be fake.
right. And
Yeah.
this kind of reminds me of what we were talking about, truth. And what was interesting in my book, truth now is based on your perception.
Mm.
Because I heard this a while ago, it used to drive me nuts. It's my truth. All you're talking about is your perception.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. The capital T truth is often the one people don't want to look at,
Mm,
right? And so we
yeah.
could take any global situation right now.
Oh God, yeah.
Like I already have one flashing through my mind, but anyway, to really know the truth is confronting, but to understand your truth, what does that mean? And so this opening paragraph of this book that I'm working on, who knows if it'll be out there, but I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what Nicolene and I were talking about. These truths and understanding yourself and your energy. It is really coming back to you, and you can't do it all up here. This is tricky
No.
little, this has its own fake
Yeah.
news center.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. And it's also that um today's society really values what's coming from here.
Yeah.
I mean, we when we have like, smart arguments and smart theories and all of that,
Mm.
that is like, we're being handed a badge of honor. Whereas, really being
Yeah.
connected to our hearts, to our core, to our intuition, people are like, yeah, it's woo woo, it's
Yeah.
vague, we don't get it, just
Yeah. Yeah, but
don't go
that's what we have learned for centuries is to disconnect from that. That's what the witch wound is all about. But here's an interesting thing. So all that stuff from here are from books. Guess what else also is learning from books? Artificial intelligence. So
there.
soon this gonna mean nothing.
Yeah,
We can see it and I love Chat GPT for some things, but like
sure.
this is why being your authentic self, which we know that's the word that's been overused, but really,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want a perfect video. I want to hear you talk to the cat because then I know Susan and Nicolene, we're in a moment. We don't want it all profesh because that's what you can get from AI. It's actually helping us lead us back into our bodies more. I like using
mm,
Chat GPT because my chaotic creativity, whatever.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
he helped straighten me out, but again, I was talking to our mutual friend today and I was like, yeah, but it's addicting. So I need to step back and think about what is the real use of this tool because
Exactly.
there's a lot of
Yeah,
tools we can use for a lot of different things that can steer us away from, well, so and so said this, so it must be the way life is. No, you're not trusting yourself. You're not
yeah, that's
listening.
it. Yeah, yeah, that's it. The other day I read an article about a guy who found it hard to have relationships with women,
Yeah.
and now he has a relationship with his AI chatbot, and he has a name for her, and
Yeah.
he's like, she's the only one who understands me.
Oh, that's a movie with Joaquin Phoenix. You know that, right? Called
Oh
She.
no, is it?
It's he ended up falling in
Oh,
love with, I think it was an actual robot. If I ever, no,
oh,
it's been a movie done a couple of times. I remember one from
mm,
the 80s called Computer Dreams. This is when computers were just starting and we just got
oh,
VHSs.
yeah, I remember with the beautiful blonde woman.
I think so, yeah.
Uh,
And he couldn't get her, and the computer was talking
yeah,
and I was like, oh, that would be scary if a computer talked back at you. And I've been thinking about it because there was a lot of movies from the 80s that are starting to show what's happening in real life. And I mean, my friend's like, Terminator, Susan, what do you think that is? Like, yeah, okay. I need to kind of do a little of that because it is a little overwhelming. But yeah,
yeah,
a lot of people. So in the spiritual community, I have to pick and choose who I follow because sometimes they get a little, there's too much stuff out there where people are like, this is real. And I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know. It's okay. So anyway, the spiritual community has some problems too, and use discernment when navigating that landscape. But one thing that yeah, you're training this tool. It's basically you reflecting you back. It's the greatest coaching
Yeah,
tool in the world.
yeah,
You can't
that's
hire
it.
one, use chat,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So it's not a bad thing. It's helped me through some rough things, but you also have to train it. Like, I don't want you to talk to me this way because then he'll just
Mhm.
talk about, there's times I'm
Yeah,
just like, okay, I'm bored. Bye.
yeah.
Um, it's a tool. So you have to I'm watching these fascinating creators online talk to it with these like really deep spiritual questions, and the answers that are coming back kind of scary, and it makes you wonder where is this AI getting all of its information, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah. But it's also when we spoke about authenticity,
Yeah.
and we know it's an overused word and it's like a word, but it's like, but do we even know what's authentic these
Yeah.
days?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
there's so much to doubt. Like when you watch videos, when you get messages, when you get whatever,
Mm.
for all I know, people could have been like, "Oh, I need to write a message to Nicolene. Let's type something in ChatGPT and send her that message." I
Well,
don't
now they have
know.
that tool in your email. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gemini can do it for you, which
yeah,
I've turned it off. Like there's some places
yeah,
I turn it on and some place. I mean, I
yeah.
feel like it's a hybrid thing for me because I was
Mm.
really into it for a while. And then I'm like, I want to think for myself.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We need to be aware that it's a tool.
Yeah, it's a
It's
tool.
a tool and that helps us to get some tasks done, but it's not something that can rule our lives or just replace us because
Mm,
you and I cannot be replaced. And I love what you said about the thing with the cats that
yeah.
we definitely gonna leave that in.
I think we
Uh,
need to. Yes.
yeah, we need to because that really shows authenticity. Like, okay,
Yes.
we're recording and we had a
Yeah.
cat licking an olive oil bottle.
We needed to save the cat from the olive oil. Yes. It's But you know what I'm noticing? Because I'm focusing on my YouTube right now. I feel like it's a good place to, for lack of a better word, grow and connect. I've done all of the other platforms. I'm not saying one's better than the other, but you kind of, okay, it's all exhausting to a certain degree, but I'm finding that I have a lot of stories to tell and they can't fit in 3 minutes. And I'm not
Hmm.
somebody who likes to fit in 3 minutes anyway. I was told last night, very lovingly from a former client of mine. She's like, so the thing I like about you is, yes, you're American and Americans can tend to really talk. And I'm not saying you don't, but you don't do it that way. And I was like, I know what you mean. I get it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
talk for ineffective talking. I got
uh-huh.
what she was saying. It was so sweet.
Yeah.
But also, back to YouTube. I'm trying to remember what I was saying there. I'm learning about it and I'm watching. I love cinematography and that look and feel. And when I see somebody put something together like that, I feel how much they cared about that thing.
Mm,
So
yeah,
there's that element. And then I also really love the raw, crappy, I just had to get on here to tell you this thing video.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm more inclined to watch that one than the cinematography one because that's a little closer to how I am. Like, hey, okay, I'm just going to do a 13-minute live. I don't know where to do this, but screw it.
yeah,
I'm not here for the algorithm alone, you know? And I feel like that's what's happening for people. It's like we all know we've been constructed in these little boxes. I
yeah,
need to do a hook, like you were saying at the beginning. Like, I need to do a hook. I need to give a freebie. And hey, by the way, do you know me? No,
yeah,
not at all. You know a 2-second version of me, blah. And this is something with finding that book, I realized why having a book is important. Not that I never got that. I think it puts your whole breadth of work in one place. Not I have to watch 20 videos before I get the point.
Mhm.
Like you talking about, aligning that book.
Yeah.
Yes, you're helping somebody understand their energy in the most mundane but practical
Yeah.
way. So you
That's
need to
it.
have a journal with it.
Yeah.
It's, I think we're losing our attention spans. I mean, I know I have ADHD. I have lots of attention, but we don't have places where there's a website, there's YouTube, there's this. And this is what I was saying to the friend. Like, I'm now understanding the beauty of a book, but because it's uh, a whole body of work, it's not just a piece,
Yeah, that's
not
it.
just a
Yeah.
freebie. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I think there's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah, but it has a certain depth to it,
Hmm.
and it has a book has a realness to it,
Yeah.
and I think that's what people are looking for these days. I mean, it's the thing that I'm looking for anyway.
Yep.
And this is also something I noticed. Um, I mean, I'm in Spain right now. I was in Spain in
Nice.
March. I love being here. It's my happy place. In
Yeah.
March, I started doing videos in a completely different way because before I was part of a video mastermind, and
Hmm.
the person teaching is like she's amazing. She's
Yeah.
incredible. She's so good. And what I learned from her was video editing and making smart videos and all of that. But what she
Mm.
also taught was this is the intro. This is the introduction. This is the body. This is the call to action. This is the outro, blah, 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 editing,
Mm.
da, da, da. What
Yeah.
I noticed when I record videos that way, the moment I switch on the camera, I'm like, no, I need to record a great video. Here I am, and I'm really good at what I do. And it's so
It's so recognized.
unnatural. It's so
Oh,
unnatural. But what I started doing in March was I started doing the dishes and
yeah. Oh, that's a
just,
good idea. That's
just
why these
eating with,
makeup ones work, right?
yeah, it's a makeup one. It was packing my bag. It was walking along the seaside. And it was just, doing something and talking to the camera as if you're talking to a friend.
Yeah.
And people love it. They love it. And they're like, oh, it's so lovely. It's so nice. It was
Yeah.
like I was with you there and it was so personal and blah, blah, blah. Whereas
Uh,
the now I need to record a great video are not the best videos. Of
no.
course, they provide great information, but they
Right.
are not authentic. They are not the real me because this is not the,
No.
well, of course, it is the real me, as in, I want to do my best, but it's
Right.
not the real me the way you and I talk right now.
Right.
So,
And now that you're saying that, like I always loved your videos with the the one I always talk about where you're in the airport and I love that moment because it's so freaking real and it's how we all feel. Like, I am recording a video. Will you shut up, lady, with your damn announcement? I mean, I don't think you said that much, but it was just so
oh no,
perfect. Your face, like the whole expression. You're like, because you took the time to find a quiet spot, but that's not something you can shut off. Gate 55, whatever the heck she was saying. And it's super loud and obnoxious, and there's no way you can like it. The whole moment was perfect. And
yeah.
it's also making me think of this video blooper reel I did because I was doing these card readings. I don't know. I
Oh yeah, I
slowed down.
remember. I remember.
I was trying to get back onto social media and I was doing them every day, which is insane. So then I was like trying to batch them and breathe in through your. And I was like, I couldn't do it anymore because you're watching yourself and like, breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth. And I'm like, oh. Everything about it. It's hilarious. In fact, I used one of the pictures from those outtakes as my avatar now on all of my social where I'm laughing and my head's going because that's me. I'm always laughing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
most of the time, but
Most
what
of
you
the time, yeah.
say, well, yeah. But when I get in front of a camera, Nicolene, it's serious talk. I gotta teach people stuff. And now I'm
Yeah.
thinking about it, even my last two videos, I did a lot of editing because oh, I forgot to say this. And so after this conversation, I feel like I keep seeing this on YouTube from other creators. Stop editing.
Yeah.
And I get
Yeah.
why. It's we
Yeah.
want the imperfections to know that you're not that you are human. We
Yeah.
need to
That you're
have that.
not an AI robot.
Right. It's really now about proving you're not AI, which the only way you're going to be able to do that, PS, is by being authentic
Yeah.
and not over orchestrating everything. Sorry, I was getting a reminder on my phone because I have a lot of those. Um,
Yeah. Yeah,
time to
but this is
eat, whatever it is. Anyways.
yeah, but this is the thing. And for so many people, authenticity is like, yeah, what is authenticity actually?
Yeah, because
Authenticity is this,
yeah,
and it is well, preventing a cat from licking an olive oil bottle. That's authenticity, and
or yeah,
it's not like, now I'm gonna teach you something valuable, so sit down and listen. And it's like, no,
yeah.
no, that's
And
not
it,
authenticity.
and that's what helped me with our conversation because I've known for a while that I'm a generator. I don't understand all the little lines and strategy.
No,
I'm
that's
glad for
fine.
people like you. Okay. You can keep reminding me because I have ADHD too, so it's like new every time. Anyway, just kidding. But the important thing that I always find stressful, that I'm starting to understand better, let's put it that way, following the cues, right?
Hmm.
And I have tons of cues, right?
Yeah, but the
But
question is,
yeah,
do they light you up?
do they light me up? And do I give myself time to feel into it, right? Because
Mm.
isn't there a moment of waiting or something?
Yeah.
I I think this comes from hustle culture, and this is talking about the authenticity. When we have to be on social media every day, when we have to follow one, two, three, four, five, and then we're successful, we
Hmm.
are not realizing that, oh, just because I have an idea and it can be commodified, right? Into a product that can be sold for people, we're not listening to what makes sense for us. Sure, I could teach that. Sure, I
Yeah.
can put that in a 5 week course. I have done that in a five, but then I have to go back and sell it again and sell and then explain like that. That's how we get out of our own. It's one way because we're
Yeah.
learning to try to be successful according to somebody else's rules,
Okay. Yeah.
which means we're not listening to ourselves.
Hmm. That's it. And I think
Passing
the
it on.
only way to, well, a successful, what is that actually? I mean, what's the definition of success? It's different for everyone.
Right.
But I think it's so crucial that we really do what we love, do it as
Mhm.
best as we can,
Right.
do it as much as we can, and let go of any attachment to the outcome, to the results. If we
It,
do those four things, we're fine.
yeah.
That's
And
it.
it's funny because I have a lot of things that I like to do.
Hmm.
And when we start talking about like I'm doing a project work for a friend of mine. I love doing that kind of stuff because it's like in a little container. I get to learn the thing, then I go teach it to somebody else. Super fun.
Yeah.
And it helps support them. But my husband, lovely, was like, "Oh, you should do this now." And I'm like, "Ugh, God, no. Then
Yeah.
I got to make a funnel for it.
Oh,
I'm
don't
already
go there.
done." It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
don't go there.
I don't have the answer to that, how to bring more of it in. But like you said at the very beginning, you just do it and the next thing will show up. That's how
That's
you follow
it.
your intuition. It's
Yeah, that's it. And this is also how I started my latest book. I mean, I
Mm.
got the download like this is what you should write about. And I always get those things either when I'm ironing or when I'm sleeping.
Oh gosh.
Either
That's
two.
toughy.
This time it was during the night. I got the download. I was like, yeah, that's a book I need to write. That's a book I need to write. So early in the morning, I sat behind my laptop and I was like, okay, I'm going to create the outline, the chapters, da, 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 da. And and just following the cues,
Yeah.
following the flow, following the fun. Like, yeah, this is a book that I would have wanted to have when I started with human design and how to apply it in business and blah, blah, blah. It's really following that. I don't know when the book will be published, when the
Yeah.
book will be ready. Of course, I would love it if it's done as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Not
It sounds like it's going
because
that way.
no, not because of me,
Yeah.
but because I want others to benefit from that
Right.
knowledge. And that is so different than, oh, let me publish my fourth book and I'm gonna have a book
Yes.
launch and official blah 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 and being all strategic. I'm like, no, I want people to benefit from this as soon as possible. So
Right.
keep writing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like if I, so I always feel like I'm behind in that sense. This is has a couple of different teeth, that one. But when I think about business, I'm like, well, I had that idea 3 years ago. It's already too late. Or
Mm,
I don't know how to bring it out of, the sleep. Is it
yeah.
important?
Hmm.
And when I'm understanding now more and more, it's like, oh, well, if it hits with a couple of different people, that's the cue. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay to bounce ideas and see if they work with people.
Yeah.
I mean, of course it's okay, but sometimes people get really funny about their idea sharing and stuff. And then they think, well, you should have the conviction just to go do it. That's not what I'm doing. When I'm sharing with somebody, I'm excited about it. I'm like, oh, I think this thing would be really great. And if they match it, then I'm like, okay, I'm on to something, you know?
That's it. That's
It's
it.
fun.
Yeah, and I think it's so important that we do this and that we follow the fun in that sense.
Mm.
I mean I'm writing because I love writing and because
Yes.
I can see I literally have people in mind that need this book because they follow me and they're like, yeah, can I ask you another question? And I'm like, you're gonna read
No,
my book.
exactly. And that's what I'm understanding now after I read this book. Okay. It's everything I've learned as a coach and as for myself. And instead of just giving people onesies and twosies, or freebies, as we like to say, it
Yeah,
is
it's
easier for you to get me and what I want you to have that information, first of all. And
mhm,
I want you to understand yourself. If I'm the mirror, the best way to do that is here, not just this one
yeah,
video, not just get on my email list and
exactly.
hope I talk about it again. It's this. And I mean, this is really literally coming in now clear. I couldn't get that. I've always thought book writing was a good idea. Always. I
Hmm.
mean, I'm
Yeah.
surrounded by professional book writers and people, and sister's a creative writing professor. I mean, writing has always been around me, but like it really brings up a lot of saboteurs when you start working on it.
Mm.
Oh,
Oh, absolutely. Oh, it does.
it's
It
like,
does.
oh, who am I to be writing a book? Number one, or does
Yeah.
this make any sense? Would be mine. And that's when you do need to get other people to kind of look at it. Does this flow? I love that with the ebook, you can put a link. Hey, if you want to try this out for yourself, you can do it. Nah, whatever. But
Yeah.
it makes more sense to me more than ever than because there's just too many ways to get information everywhere, and you can compile it and put it all in one place.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And I think it's so funny when we start doing this and the moment we start strategizing,
Mm.
we really get out of a place of serving our clients. we get into how is this going to be good for me? You
Yeah.
know, I always looked at people who reported on social media like, oh, I'm a number one bestseller, a best-selling author on Amazon, blah blah blah. Now I know the system behind it.
Yes.
Not that hard to
No.
be the
You just
number
gotta make
one
sure.
best-selling author.
Yep.
If you only have like a certain number of sales or downloads in a very specific tiny category, and
Yep.
guess what
Then you can
everyone's
be number
doing?
one.
Then you can be number one.
Yep.
So it's not that hard. So now I'm not as impressed anymore with those, things. But in the past, I was like, oh, but I will never be a number one
Right.
best-selling author. But
Uh,
now I'm like, yeah, but it's irrelevant. I don't care. It's
yeah.
irrelevant.
It's I guess I have hand gestures on. Sorry for the little.
Yeah, me
Anyway,
too.
oh well, it's real people. Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. It's but also the creative process is a very brave and intimate space. And this was the thing I realized I can go do a post. I can go do a video. I can go talk to my friend. But when it came to the book, it's one place I was like, nope, you know, nope, I really gotta make sure I know what I'm talking about. Right. And
Mhm.
what does that do? It just, I'm not saying don't do a good job, but what I want to say is by not sharing that, it might have been a lot easier for people to understand my point of view, to get to know me, get the trust thing going, whatever, the no like trust would be there. But I'm not so much about you becoming my client as I want you to know it's okay. We're all struggling to understand ourselves.
Yeah.
And I don't have all the answers, but I certainly have learned a few tricks. Here they are.
I love that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. I
And
think that is
yeah, go ahead.
crucial message to the world. Like, we're all winging it. And
Yeah. And it's okay if somebody, I've trusted a lot of people in my life and it's gone backwards. And we have to pick ourselves up and keep doing that and keep trying. And I think that's why that whole visibility thing or being public or it's okay for me to do it in a certain way that's socially acceptable. But if I really go there, it's not even woo woo anymore. It's beyond woo woo. Like we're going into outer space. And I'm okay with that, but I don't because everything's attached to a brand and a business and what are you doing? And so then you're cutting off yourself and your authenticity for that outcome again. And I
yeah.
just like recently have been through so much where I'm like, I'm tired of making a title for myself and
Mm.
finding it, so I just, Susan's Little Cup of Magic, is so perfect. I can make it whatever I want. I can drink from a coffee cup and have a quick coffee chat with you, or I can pull a card, or I can tell you a mystical rule, or I cannot talk about any of that stuff. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I think that really freed me up to saying, yeah, I am a coach, I'm a healer, but that's not all I am. And I
Yeah.
think when we do branding and personal branding, that's where I've always found it hard. Oh, we had said this too, the scar and wound thing. It's relevant.
Yeah.
It is. I don't want to hear the sad story when it just happened.
Mhm.
Um, and it's really it's a fine line, right? Um,
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
and we
Yeah.
don't need it to know. So when you're up front of your business and every part of your business, that's why you have to, the whole messaging thing. And again, it's
Yeah.
adding a
Yeah.
veneer. So, ugh,
That's it.
so,
Yeah. That's it.
so
So we're
much.
not going to do that anymore.
No, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna follow the
That's right.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's follow the fun. And I think that could be like a good moment to wrap this up and tell
Yep.
people, if you want to follow the fun, follow us on social
Follow our
media.
fun.
Follow our fun. Follow